Hi, it's Daryl again, and I'm looking at the new Pekapeka to north of Ōtaki Expressway, and it follows these orange dashes from south to north. And I'm going to zoom in and look at this part just here, and then I'll look at the other bits later on or in other videos. So this is at the south end of the new expressway. This is a stub of road which will be the alternative road to the expressway for local traffic. And then in the background of this imagery, the new expressway is being built parallel on the right hand side to the current road that's in use at the moment. You can see there's quite a lot of traffic, and a lot of this traffic is going sort of fairly long distances north to south down to Wellington, and this traffic will be all moved onto this expressway that fits onto the Kapiti Expressway and then onto Transmission Gully and then into the Wellington motorway central part of the network. Now I'm going to take a hop a little bit further north. This is the road which goes down to Pekapeka Beach, and I'm going to have a look at the cycle path. As they're building this road, they're building a cycle path parallel to it. In this area, a lot of people also ride horses, so I can imagine that people would also ride horses along here, which is why some of the barriers are quite tall, and you'll see that later. There's some bridges which are designed for people to take their horses and mountain bikes across. A lot of people have electric mountain bikes now, and they ride around. What's interesting right here is on the left hand side there's a drainage ditch. Maybe this is called a swale, and they've planted it with all these kind of grasses, and this project itself contains a lot of its own drainage. So while they were building the project, they took a lot of care to make sure that mud and dirt that washes off the construction site doesn't go into the local waterways, increase the turbidity, which is the murkiness of the water, which chokes the wildlife. This area has native fish living in it. I think these fish these might be what people call whitebait. I'm not quite certain, but there are native fish, and they don't want the fish to be affected. So during the construction of the whole project, they're very careful to control the drainage. Now you can see that there's shared paths here. I just looked down there. There's bits of textiles. I think these are biodegradable textiles. It's like a coconut husk matting, and so they put that down and then they planted the plants through it, so that the creek or the drain that runs along parallel to the road here, that matting absorbs all the fine particulates so that the muds and clays settle, and then the plants grow into those muds and clays. You can see further down on the left there's these new bridges along the cycle path here, and they have quite high barriers. You can see them on the left hand side of the image there, and you can see that the highway goes through a contour. This is past a place called Crest. It's sort of an old, I don't know, it's a school, I think. Maybe an old kind of boarding school or a religious school. I don't think it's used anymore. I'm going to move, and then I'll move to the right hand side, which is the eastern side of the highway. So I get in my car and I move on. Okay, so I've driven up, I've gone through a little tunnel, and I'm on the other side of the railway line, and, well, I'm not on the other side of the railway line. I'm between the new motorway over the top of this tunnel here, and the railway line is behind me. So the expressway goes over top here. There's also a separate tunnel that goes through under the expressway for the cycles and people who might ride a horse in this area. They might also use this tunnel for cattle and sheep movements, because the highway effectively cuts across quite a lot of farmland, and there's some pens that I noticed, timber pens, which might be where you keep sheep when you move them into a flock and you're going to move the flock to the other side. I'm not quite certain, but it looks as if that can be done this way. Just on the left there, it's just out of picture now, there's the cycleway gravel, and that's they realigned the railway to go under the new expressway as well. So yeah, so these timber pins that you can see on the left hand side, yeah, that one there, and there's one on the other side of the railway line as well. So this has got a level crossing for not much traffic uses this. It's just the traffic that goes into these farms, and this is one of the cycle path bridges, and you can see more textile matting in this drain here, which runs into this creek, and again they're doing that to take care of the water so that material's not washing off the construction project as they build it. So this is built. There's a cycle path that parallels this whole expressway. In New Zealand, when they build a new motorway or expressway along the highways, they also build a cycle path at the same time, because long distance recreational cycling is becoming a popular tourism activity. And also it allows people who live in this area, children can ride their bikes to the local schools using these cycleways, which are totally separated from the highways. This pathway through this crossing here, it's designed to make you look both ways as you walk through, so that if there's a train approaching, you'll see it. Some of the modern trains are surprisingly silent, and there's actually a project underway to make battery electric trains that will run on this railway line in the future coming up. Now I relocate. I'm going to drive through this little tunnel. Like, this little tunnel is kind of like it's almost like a prefabricated concrete tunnel that they just inserted during the construction. I think the segments of the tunnel are actually made in pieces and then it was put together. I'm not totally certain of that. So this here has got the current state Highway 1 traffic, and when the project is complete, this will be the alternative road to the expressway. Now, it took a long time to get a gap in the traffic, and there was there was some police cars and stuff going by. There was quite a lot happening, so I paused for a while and then skipped the boring minute out of the video there. Now I'm heading northward towards Te Horo. I think this is where the police car goes past. Yep. And then I go up to the new Te Horo overbridge, which connects the western and eastern parts of Te Horo together. Because there's this school, part of the school and village is on one side, and the rest of the village is on the other side. And if you go all the way down to Te Horo Beach, there's a holiday house community down at the beach, with quite a lot of nice little holiday houses. That's just the Te Horo township there that I'm going through. So this will all be the alternative road. So this will be the local road with not much traffic, where just local people are driving around. And this local road will go from Waikanai up to Ōtaki as a separate parallel road to the expressway. Now I'm going to go around the corner and up and over this bridge. This new bridge was built a couple of years, maybe it's been running for 3 years now, this bridge. It's been there for quite a while, and it joins together the community because they've taken the level crossings off the railway line. Although if you go back in my video there, you'll see that there was a level crossing, but that was really a private road, which was really a driveway for a farm. So I'm going to go over this bridge here. Yeah, these bridges are all they're made very tall and broad. They have nice, easy alignments so that your vehicle won't struggle going up and over them. It's quite gentle. It's built with a footpath to the side there, because some children would probably walk across this to go to school, because there's a school on the other side, maybe it's about a kilometre from here. So, a 10-minute walk or something like that. to the left there, there's a, looks like there's a new subdivision being built. I'll look at that a little bit later on. Now, I'm driving through all this and just showing you this because this road was all new. This has been, running for a couple of years. This road's been open, and you can see that it's got safety barriers. That's to keep people out of the drainage ditches on either side of the road. Got that nice concrete footpath down the side. That concrete footpath can also be used for children to ride their bikes to go to school. If you go around to the left, you get into the village where the school is. But on the left is where the village is, and I'm going to take this right and follow the road down parallel. And then I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to climb up on the bank and have a look at the road. All right. I parked my car, got out, and just climbed up on the bank to have a look at the road there. The road is very wide. It's effectively built for the equivalent of 3 lanes in each direction. So there'll be 2 traffic lanes and an edge. So if your car breaks down as you're driving, you'll be able to pull over and stop at the side of the road out of the flow of traffic. Now you can see that these are all done with wire rope barriers. I guess these are the kind of cheapest, most effective way of building barriers. Now all these new roads, they're built with barriers effectively through the centre and down the sides, because all these roads seem to be built quite high with drainage in mind. I guess they're taking into consideration whether it's going to rain a lot in the future. We've been getting a lot of big storms recently, and if you get heavy rain, these roads are all made so they won't flood in heavy rain. They've been very careful to build all the bridges very tall and do very good drainage works. You can see the layers of the asphalt there. Now I think this is made for the top layer. Something I didn't mention earlier on is this road is meant to be opening in a few months. Back here I just jumped to the alternative road. Now I'm going to drive back and go over the bridge, and then I'll climb up on the bridge and take some images from up top. Oh yeah, I stopped for a moment to have a look at the drainage works here. You can see there's a 2-pipe culvert here. All of the driveways to all of the houses and properties down this road. This road is a new road. They had to change all the roads around, so they had to put in a new road so that people could still have access to their properties. You can see the culvert there, 2 big pipes. They're about half a metre in diameter, maybe a little smaller, about 1.5 feet, I guess. And so there's actually a good amount of volume of water that could pass through that. That's just a look over the top of the expressway overpass that goes over the railway line and over those tunnels that I was in earlier. Now I'm going to drive back. Got to go around to the left again and go back over the same bridge. I hope this isn't too boring, this bit, but I wanted to get as many details in this video because a lot of the work is essentially finished, and so it really shows you the size of the project. So I've been working on this for say 5 years or so, and I've been working on the Roads of National Significance project, which is to build a lot of new motorways around New Zealand to really make the quality of roading in and out of our major cities, Hamilton's another area, and this Wellington area. This expressway will go to the north side of Ōtaki, so that all of this should open in mid-November 2022 is what the target date for the opening is. And then they will start building the segment north of Ōtaki to the north side of Levin. And I'll take some photos off the top of this bridge shortly. I just drove through here slowly so that you can see what the quality of the bridge is. They're really well built. There's quite a big bump there where those road cones are. I'm not sure what happened there. The alignment on and off of the bridge isn't quite right, but I'm sure they'll sort that out. So I'm just going to go around to the left, and then I'll park my car. But when I get around this corner, you'll be able to see what's in front of me, and at the T intersection at the end of the road just coming up here, this is where the current State Highway 1 is going past. So those cars there, that's the State Highway 1 traffic, which is a lot of traffic. So I jumped out of my car, I climbed back up on top of the bridge so you can see the layout. You can see on the right hand side, so I'm looking south at the moment, on the right hand side there's the current State Highway 1, and on the left hand side you've got the new State Highway 1, which is such a change. So we're going to go from 1 lane north and 1 lane south to 3 lanes north and 3 lanes south. So there'll be this 2-lane motorway on each direction on the left hand side there, and the existing local traffic road there, and you can see this railway line there. Now this is the Mangaone stream, and that stream goes down to Te Horo beach, down to where the holiday beaches are down there. Most of this expressway has been surfaced. I actually think that that's probably the top layer of asphalt now, because you can kind of see the layers. There's this nice park here on the left hand side where they've mowed the lawn. Well, it's in the centre of the image there. They've mowed the lawn quite nicely, so hopefully that will be a nice little reserve park. And then this is just how the wire ropes are anchored at the end. So under the bridge there's a concrete barrier to protect the bridge from any traffic accidents, and then the wire rope barriers continue. So you can see by the size of that truck there, that's a kind of a reasonable sized truck, how wide the roading area is, and they're going to lane it with 2 lanes in there, and there'll be enough space to pull your car over to the side of the road if there's something wrong with your car. On the left here, where all this dirt is, I think this is a new subdivision. This looks like an area where they're building a new road into there, and there's lights lighting up that road as well. So that looks like it might be being zoned residential, which kind of makes sense because there's the village on the left hand side, and I'm looking north at the moment, and there's part of the village on the right hand side of the expressway. So there you go, there's the earthworks around that, and you can see good drainage in there, large culverts, the put rocks, and they're using geotextiles there to control the sedimentation. This is looking north. This road really looks almost finished. They just need to paint on some lines and put some reflectors on there. And you can see the drains there pretty well. There we go. Oh, this video seems out of sequence. I should have put this bit first. Yeah, you can see how worn the old State Highway 1 is there, and you can see how ludicrous it is to have these intersections where you have quite a lot of traffic. There's a big planting here where they've done some restoration. Again, there's a lot of effort into keeping these streams and creeks clean. But that is the current main state highway that goes from the down into Wellington, which, you know, it is time that this upgrade happened. And you can see the main trunk railway line there, which is mostly just got freight train services on it. The metro trains start at the next suburb south of this, which is Waikanai, and the metro railway goes about 60 kilometres from Wellington City out into the northern coastal suburbs. They're going to do some regional rail development coming up with these hybrid trains that will run on that railway line. So they'll run electric in the city and on battery and diesel hybrid out in the countryside like here. You can see how they can take down the barriers. The middle steel wires aren't on this part of the highway at the moment. I guess they'll put them up just before the project's finished, and you can see that property development just there as well. Yeah, you can see a lot of the plantings They do a lot to do erosion and noise control and really look after the drainage very well. The road is built. It's significantly higher than the old State Highway 1, and this will alleviate flooding problems. There are some areas, in the 10 kilometres north and south of here, where the old State Highway 1 tended to flood a little bit. There we go. I think I've described almost everything that was describable there. Well, thanks for watching, and take care. And I'll do a follow-up video with the next bridge further north from here, and I should hopefully get that online in the next day or two. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you later.